Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Mr. Ramirez's virtual class number 10. Yes, it has been 10 classes that we've been doing virtually. And now we are preparing ourselves for the end of the year. So we have about one more month of school left. And then summer begins. But what exactly is that going to look like? Because we've sort of been on summer already. And so we've been at home doing some distance learning and some social distancing because of a worldwide pandemic. That's a big word. What does it mean? It just means that there is a disease or a virus that is basically getting to a lot of people all over the world. And so because of it, we are being extra careful by staying home and leaving for essential things only. And that basically means that we have to learn from home. It's a little bit different, but it is something that we have gotten used to. It's been about a month and a half now, almost 2 months since we started this journey, and I'd like to say that I miss you all very, very, very much. And I hope that you guys got to see all of the signs that the other teachers at Herrera put up around the school on the fence. There was some beautiful messages from all of your grade level teachers and ancillary teachers saying how much we miss you and how much we really, really, really look forward to seeing you guys very soon. So today's class, it's going to be a Krafty Kids. It's super exciting, so fun, fantastic craft that we are going to do, and it is called El Ojo del Dios, or God's Eye, and it is a yarn craft, so you're going to need some things, and this is what they are, okay? Okay, so this is the craft known as God's Eye. I think they call it that because it resembles an eye from the center and sort of starts to go out. This is the front, this is the back. It looks a little bit different. They both look really cool. It kind of reminds me of a kite, but the way that the yarn wraps around these sticks is very important, and so we need to learn how to do that. So I've added a little bit of a tassel embellish to this craft here, and I will show you how to make a tassel at the end of this video as well. So this is our craft for the day, the God's Eye, and here's what you're going to need. First, obviously, we're going to need some yarn. I found this Super Saver Stripes yarn at Walmart. It was only like $4 for this, and this is probably going to last me forever. It's a lot of yarn. So you may have yarn at your house. You may have string of a different color. That's okay. You can go find yarn at the dollar store. Have your parents go for you if they can take a little quick shopping trip. And you're also going to need some sticks. Here we have some Kraft dowels. Dowels are basically sticks. It's another way of saying sticks that are used for crafts and for construction and stuff. Here I have some little bitty thin ones, and then I have some really long ones. So this project is one that you can sort of do in levels. Our first level, of course, is going to be a simple one, and we're going to start with these little smaller, skinnier sticks because those big ones do take a lot of work and a lot of time. So I'm going to show you the basics using the small sticks, and you're going to need just 2. All right, so let's get started with our craft. Okay, so some other tools that you're going to need are some scissors to cut your yarn, and the option to use a glue gun is also there if you like. It makes it maybe a little bit simpler, but I'm going to show you how to use it, or how to do it without the glue gun. Since glue guns are kind of hot, and this one's not plugged in right now, so that's why I'm touching the end of it. But never touch this part of a glue gun when it's on, because you can burn yourself and it really, really hurts. So always be careful and have adults supervise you or do it for you until you're ready to not be burned or get hurt, because it does. And Mr. Ramirez has burned himself plenty of times, and he doesn't want you to feel that pain, because I love y'all and I want y'all to always feel happy and safe. So again, have a parent help you with the glue gun if you're going to use that, okay? So Where would you use the glue gun actually is sort of important. So our first step is to gather our two sticks and to make the letter T, or a cross or a plus sign, okay? So it's gonna be equal on each side. So equal length here, 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 and there. So because these sticks are gonna move a little bit, you can use a glue gun to basically help them stay in place. So you would put the glue sort of right there in the middle, and then it will basically stay in that little plus sign, and it'll make it a little bit easier. But I'm gonna show you a different way that doesn't require glue, okay? So I'm gonna start with my yarn, and I'm leaving my yarn on the spool. This is the spool where basically all the yarn is gathered in a nice little way. So I'm gonna get the end of my yarn, or the tail, and I'm gonna go under the cross like this, okay? I'm gonna pull it to where it's now sort of like a star shape with the yarn underneath, right? And then I'm gonna come up with the yarn, I'm gonna go under, and what's gonna happen is that this is going to pull, and now the two sticks are going to maybe want to do this together. So they're going to want to do like chopsticks tied together. To stop that, I'm going to basically keep this little one first beginner knot right here. It's not quite a knot yet because I haven't done it twice. So it's basically I just put it around, and then I'm going to open there, and then I'm going to pull the string, and I'm going to tie it again like this underneath. Okay, so that's the first time. And notice that when I did that, the cross started to take shape on its own. It started to basically separate. And so I'm going to do that again. I'm going to come on this side this time, like this, and then I'm going to make another little under the loop knot, and watch how the thing starts to take its shape again. So each time I pull it nice and tight, it makes the sticks go into their cross. So again, you just sort of find the middle, and that's where we'll begin. So I'll probably do it one more time just to make sure I'm getting everything separated nicely. I'm gonna come right about there and go underneath and pull. Okay, and so there we have the beginnings in this little nice T, no glue needed, right there. So now that I have my T shape and my knot without glue, again, you can put glue right there once you start to keep the T a little bit better. I'm going to cut my tail like that. That way I don't have a whole lot of leftover. And now I have the remaining yarn that's attached to the spool that I'm going to start working with to create my God's eye. Okay, so here's how it works. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get my yarn, and I'm going to start with an underneath. I'm going to go over one stick, and then I'm going to come over to the next stick like this. Okay, and I turn my cross, and then I'm going to go under, around, into the next. All right, and I'm going to go under, around, into the next, and then I turn it around again. Under, around, into the next. Go under, around, into the next. Again, under, around, under, and around. Go under and around. And notice I'm using both hands as I'm turning, and I'm trying to keep the string on top of the next string. So that here I'm sort of stacking it, and then I come down again, and I go under and around, and then I turn, under and around, and I turn, under and around, and I turn, under and around, and I go around, under and around, under and around, under and around, under and around, and I keep turning my T. And look what's starting to happen there. It's starting to make the sort of webbing as it loops around the sticks and crosses. Each time it crosses, it's starting to go out a little bit more, and pretty soon you're going to see how it gets all filled in. So again, go to the next stick, go around, and then under, around, and under, around, and under, around, and under, around, and under. Notice if I go too far away like this, it's going to leave little gaps in between. It's not going to look as good, so you want to make sure that when you wrap it, it's right next to the next piece of yarn. So you go around, and then here, around, and here, around, and here, around, here. So again, you go under, go around the stick, and then come to the next stick as you turn from the middle. Under, go around the stick, and then come to the next stick, under and around. Now, here's it is. Look at the big reveal. I'm going to turn it around, and look how it's already making its eye shape in the center, okay? So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to flip it back over. Sorry, whoop, whoop. Here's where I was. So I'm going to go under, around, and through, under, around, and through, under, around, and through, under, around, and through, under, around, and through. And it just sort of repeats. Not sort of, it does. It repeats again and again and again. You just keep going, and you make sure that you have your yarn spool releasing all of the yarn, because we're just going to keep going. And sometimes it helps to just sort of push down your string a little bit. That way it's stacking nicely. And again, we're starting to see our beautiful yarn webbing sort of like pattern here. And I like to just do it from the under parts. It's always easier for me. So I've gotten a little bit further. Notice that the color changed right about there, and now I have a sort of a more bluish shade. Here we have more of a teal turquoise, and look again on the other side how beautiful that looks. Again, like kind of like an eye. You got the pupil, the iris, and then all this kind of stuff around, you know, so that's how we're taking our shape. So again, I'm keeping it tight as I go around. So here we are. So I go under, around, and so I like to keep everything nice and clean, and that's what makes it look better. So it takes practice. My first time doing this, it didn't look as nice, but I've done several of these over the years. It's a great craft. It makes a great gift. You can always give these away to somebody as a token of friendship. They make great Christmas ornaments. If you have a Christmas tree, it's a beautiful addition. You could even make it into the star if you do it large enough. And here I am going around and around and around and around. And pretty soon the color is going to start to change on the yarn, hopefully. I can keep this blue because I'm really liking the way it looks, and go under, around, and through, under, around, and through. And my string, I'm going to use about a hand's length apart to give me some space to make my my ending. So to make the end, I did my last string. I'm going to use my 2 fingers. I'm going to go around them. So let's see. I want you guys to be able to, because this is always a part that that confuses people. So I get 2 fingers. I go behind, and then I wrap around each finger, and then I go through. See how I went through there? And then I pull my fingers out, and then I make that knot on top. Right there like that. Okay, so now I have this string. I'll do it one more time. Okay, go through around my fingers, pull it through the 2. Okay, and there's the, so it's got to be around the stick, and then I release my fingers, and then I pull to close in that little sort of knot right there. Okay, and then that way you have a dangling God's eye right there. But I like to do something else too. I like to make a little loop. So then I hold it like this, and then I bring this around, and I tie that into a sort of little loopy thing there. I pull this string through, and then I pull this down, 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 and then now I have a hanging hook thing that I can grab onto. Look at it. It looks pretty good. I have my little hanger hoop thing here. This is the front. Some people like the way it looks on this side too, because it's actually really pretty. Plus it has the little cross design there. But again, it looks like an eye because it has, again, the iris and the pupil thing going on there. And now we're going to make the tassel. So to make the tassel, I'm going to need a pretty long string by itself. I like to use my hand as a measurement tool right there, so I'll get my hand right there, and then I will cut at where my finger sort of is, not too close to the fingers. Remember, you don't want to cut yourself. And so that's a pretty, maybe like a 9-inch string right here if you want to use a ruler. And then I'm going to start to use a cup to wrap my string around. So what I do here is I'm going to get my finger, place it right there on the cup, and then I'm going to just start going around the cup, pull out my sort of loops, and then I'm going to take my long piece of string that I just cut first, and then I'm going to go through there like this, and then I'm going to pull my strings up, and I'm going to tie this in a knot. Okay, so watch carefully. I'm going to adjust my phone a little bit. I'm going to pull this here like this through, and I'm going to tie them up close together like this, really tight, and then I'm going to do it again like this. All right, and so what do we do now? So now I'm going to bring my little loops around like this, and then I'm going to get my scissors and I'm going to cut right down the middle. So I got to make sure that I'm at the middle of my strings, and then I'm going to cut through the bottoms here like this. Okay, keep cutting, and we're going to fix this in just a minute if they're not even. And then of course cut off the tail from the actual yarn, and so then you should have what looks like this. Okay, all right, now I'm going to need another piece of string about a hand's length long. I cut it there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place, I like to call this the hair. I want about this much right here to be the top part, like the head. So I'm going to place my string like this, and I'm going to put the yarn right around to there, and then I'm going to bring this and tie that around like this. Okay, so this is a lot to do with like tying shoes. You just go under and then you pull, right? So as I pull, you start to see how it's taking the shape of a little head on top right here, right? So you bring in that neck, tie it really, really tight like this. Okay, make sure you tie it tight. And then I'm going to come around one time like this, and then I'm going to come around like this, and then I'm going to tie that in a knot. Okay, so I come around, and you guys have little fingers, y'all are probably better at this than I do, but come around here, tie it in a tight knot, and so we've made a nice little neck using our yarn. And then I'm going to come around again like this one more time and pull. And I should have made that string a little bit longer, but that's okay, we'll make it work. I gotta just get my fingers to work with me here. Right there. Okay, and then I pull through, and we got it. So now what I do is I cut this tail part off right here, and then I cut this tail off part right here. Alright, and so now we have our tassel, but what we're going to do is we're going to make all of the hairs the same length. And I think that sometimes when it's a little bit shorter it looks better, so I'm also going to cut this off. What is this? Oh, this is this part here, this one on the top. Okay, there we go. Tie this into a little loop-de knot like this. Okay, pull it tight, and then here we have our little hooky thing here, and so now I'm going to cut at the bottom. So right here, I want my strings to be about that long right there. So I'm going to cut all of this and try to make it as a straight line as possible. So take a look around. And some really good scissors are important for this part right here, okay? So then here we have a tassel made of yarn, okay? So at this point, I'm going to connect it. Okay, so for this last part, I did turn on the glue gun because I want to attach my tassel to the bottom part of the, here's the top and then here's the bottom. All right, so I want to attach my tassel to it. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the sides here. And remember, this glue gun is hot, so make sure that you have parents helping you if you're going to be doing this part, because it is going to require some touching of hot glue. So I'm going to press my tassels on this thing right here, like there, and carefully sort of tap and touch so I don't burn myself to where it covers the glue. And now my God's Eye craft and tassel that I hope you make during this quarantine and give to someone as a gift. Hoping that everyone is well and that you are staying busy and keeping that mind active, keeping those hands active and keeping yourself active during this quarantine. I love you all, and I'll see you all very soon. Peace out.